In a small peaceful robot village called Viscry, every roof glowed warm at sunset. The village was poor, but kind. Its little robots shared batteries, bread printers, songs, and celebrations. Eduard lived there with his family, a young robot with clear blue eyes, a pale golden shell, and rust freckles from working outside. He wore an old denim blue work jacket over his metal body, patched again and again by hands that loved him. But Eduard was bored of the same hills, the same meals, and the same customs repeated every season. "I want something new," he said, "a bigger world, a better world." On the night he turned 18, Eduard left before the village lamps woke. He was At dawn, he entered a forest that looked as if a painter had dreamed in electricity. The trees were pink, green, red, violet, striped, checkered, and sprinkled with tiny stars. "Strange," Eduard whispered, but the forest felt quiet enough to trust. Then a deep voice rose behind him, old as roots and gears. "Who are you, little traveler, and what brings you to our world?" Eduard turned and saw a giant ancient tree, half bark, half golden machinery, watching him with patient light. "I am looking for a new home," Eduard said. "I have grown tired of the old one." The tree smiled with every leaf and offered him a golden branch, bright as a small sunrise. "With this," the tree said, "you may draw anything you wish. When the sun rises, your drawing will become real, and you will become small enough to live inside it." Think carefully before you draw. Eduard was too happy to be careful. He drew shining streets, tall castles, flying parks, bakeries full of impossible cakes, and a school with no homework. He drew a house that cleaned itself, clothes that folded themselves, and a different celebration every day. When sunrise came, the paper lifted from his hands and unfolded into a whole new kingdom. But Eduard woke as tiny as a bean, standing inside a world that had misunderstood every wish. The parks were broken, the bakeries were empty, the castles were cold. The school had more alarms and more homework than any place he had ever known. Eduard finally understood that new does not always mean kind. So he began searching for the ancient tree again. Small as he was, he crossed 9 shining seas, 9 windy valleys, and 9 kingdoms that did not know his name. On the road, he found a beautiful mechanical bird trapped in a hunter's silver snare. Eduard's hands were tiny, but they were gentle. He freed the bird, repaired its wing, and told it how he had lost the way home. The bird flew for 7 days, asking every sky, tower, and cloud if they remembered the enchanted forest. At last it returned with good news and carried Eduard back beneath its golden wings. The ancient tree saw his tears before Eduard could speak. "Now you understand," said the tree, and gave him one final branch. This time, Eduard did not draw a perfect kingdom. He drew only a road, crooked, small, familiar, and lit by the lamps of Viscry. When the sun rose, the road opened beneath his feet and carried him home. Viscry was still small, still poor, still full of the same songs. But Eduard heard those songs differently now. Home was not the place where nothing changed. Home was the place where someone noticed when you were gone. From that day on, Eduard traveled often, but he always knew the road back. Because the bravest journey is not always the one that takes you far away. Sometimes it is the one that teaches you why you belong.